Welcome to Geektionary. My name's Corey Hales, and this is the geekiest podcast you'll probably ever hear, where I will try to teach you, along with my friends, about the nerdier things in life. Let's talk about it. Created by a civil engineer, but I swear like a sailor. So this is Letter T. I'm here with Josh Vogels.
Hello.
I am okay to use your last name, right?
Go away.
Okay.
It's all over my Facebook page right now anyway.
Yeah,
it's like, you're coming on my show, am I? Yes.
Yeah, that 30, I looked at it again, it's 30 posts.
Yeah.
It was.
We had a texting message on Facebook.
Yeah, that was very, very long. But yeah, here with Josh Vogels, who I haven't seen, and we figured
9.5.
9.5 years.
Yes.
How many times have we spoken in that 9.5 years, even though we were Facebook friends? Maybe twice.
Maybe, yeah. I'd like a poster too, I think.
Yeah, maybe. And probably me back at you. But yeah, when I made the list and Twilight came up because I couldn't come up with any other T's, which since I've come up with a bunch, you jumped on the chance to talk about.
Well, I gave you a shotgun's chance at any topic, and that's the only one nobody else took.
I said if you could think of something else. And
for T, well, I could think of Transformers, but I would have about as much to spill about as
Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Again, couldn't do it.
Did you not like
the real Ghostbusters? If you can count the.
No,
I could go on about that.
No, they would just be Ghostbusters because no one calls them the real Ghostbusters.
Well, no, because there are two different shows.
Yeah, I know. One had a monkey.
Yes, yes, it did.
And that was the real Ghostbusters.
No, it was more of an ape.
Who gives a shit? Anyways, Twilight, for those of you who don't actually know, is about a girl named Bella Swan who moves to Forks, Washington, and falls in love with a 104-year-old vampire named Edward Cullen. Yes,
by frowning.
Yes, lots of frowning, staring.
Yes, that man has eyebrows.
Mouths hanging open. Yes, caterpillars living on his face.
Yes, they are. I think that's where the power came from.
Yeah.
The bigger the eyebrows.
I don't know. Some of the vampires seem to be aware that they had small animals living on their faces, so they would trim them. I've seen the movies. I've seen 3 of them. Only through the first one I saw with my cousin Tanner because we just had to see a movie. And we just fuck it, Twilight. Neither of us wanted to see it, but it was the best one playing at the time, which is pretty fucking sad.
Yeah, I went because my girlfriend at the time had a vampire fetish, so I was like, hey, it'll get me laid.
Did she consider herself to be a quote-unquote real vampire? One of those people who are... No. Those people are weird.
They're interesting, I like them.
They're not interesting in any good ways. They're interesting in a way like, why are you still alive?
Blood is a great source of iron and oxygen.
No, but not that type of vampire. The people that are emotional vampires. They're pale and they dress like freaks and they go up to people and they suck out energy somehow.
Succubi and incubi.
No. These are people in real life.
Yeah, but that's probably what they might call themselves.
Succubi and incubi do it through sex. These guys do it
isn't emotional.
Through positive emotions and stuff like that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they're like the hippie dippies of...
The hippies of goth. Alright.
Yeah, they still dress like goth. I saw this picture of a dude with the worst facial hair, just big gap, like a reverse Hitler stash. Big gap under the nose, and then big and bushy along the rest of the lip. He was just enraged about the fact that Twilight was coming out. This was back when it was new. Yeah. Anyway, because it's a bad name for vampires.
Yes, it is.
Which it is.
Yeah.
I don't like vampires, and I think that Twilight is a bad name for vampires.
It is. It was, I think, trying to be another take on Anne Rice's vampire skit.
Well, Anne Rice was still doing genuine vampire stuff. Well, she popularized a certain type of vampire.
Yes, the romantic vampire.
Exactly, yeah. Like, the old vampire weren't pale. You could still see them in mirrors, and they still had shadows and stuff like that. They were just dudes. They were the undead. That was it.
Yeah, and Bram Stoker's the one who said, no mirrors, and I think the cross was Bram Stoker's.
Yeah. Which,
if you have a Buddha vampire and you show a cross, I don't think he really gives a hoot.
No, I think it's less to do with what the vampire believes in and more to do with what the actual person believes in. Yes. If they have genuine faith. This has gotten very weirdly serious.
Welcome to Conspiracy Hour.
But yeah, I read something recently where someone was talking about how isn't it pedophilia? Simply because, yes, Edward Cullen is still in the body of, a 17-year-old. He's still 104 years old.
Touche.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what the legal limit is in the States, I guess.
I'm fairly certain if a 104-year-old
Yeah, but it's 104. If she's 18, that's fair game.
She was 17.
When they finally, what's it called? Communed. Congealed together in the sheets.
Ugh. When they 50 Shades of Greyed it up. I'll get back to that later. But yeah,
probably 50 Shades of Pale.
Another important character in the thing. This is just laying the groundwork.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. As long as I'm allowed to comment, I'm okay.
Of course, yeah.
I love the peanut gallery part.
Was Jacob Black, a Native American werewolf.
Yes.
Who I did not care for. I don't like that type of werewolf. Yes, they're cool big wolves, but they're not... I like the man-wolf thing, American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, and actually, the one who I thought did the best werewolf would have been Van Helsing. As horrible of a movie it was, the werewolf came out pretty good.
I've had a couple people bring up Van Helsing to me lately, like in the last few weeks, and I really think I need to watch it again, because it wasn't good.
No, it was not.
But there's a lot of people who think, like you say, the werewolf was good, or Dracula is goddamn hilarious in that, unintentionally.
And Kate Beckinsale and Titan corsets is...
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is with Kate Beckinsale and like, wearing tight clothes and fighting monsters? Because she's also in Underworld.
Yes,
I'm not complaining about that very specific aspect. I'm just complaining about the fact that all of those movies are terrible.
I like the first one.
Everyone does. It's a terrible movie. It's
and I like the one where it was them in the past, too.
Let's do The Matrix, but with werewolves and vampires. Not even real vampires.
Well,
just disgusted. Let me drink my whiskey.
It's still a better vampire than Twilight.
Yeah. Lots of things are better anythings than Twilight.
And...
Have you seen the meme online? Still a better love story than Twilight?
No.
Yeah. So, it spawned 4 books and 5 movies. Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, Breaking Dawn.
I like the term spawned.
Spawned, yeah. Did I use that word?
Yes, you did.
I did not even notice. But one thing that I just read while I was doing the very little amount of research I did, 3 cue cards.
That's fun. We're gonna go on tangents.
Oh yeah. That's most of what the show is. But it was the term Twilight Saga, like that. They call it a saga.
Yes,
that bothers me.
Well, there's more than 3.
It doesn't matter. A saga has an epicness to it. Like Homer's Odyssey, that could be considered to me a saga.
Yes,
simply because it's a fucking crazy ass story.
Oh god, yes.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings, that's a saga.
Yeah, okay, touche.
Big shit happens.
But it's also a trilogy.
Harry Potter, that's a saga.
Many billions of dollars is definitely a saga.
Yeah, but the thing is, Twilight's already has made billions of dollars as well.
It has, but I think it hasn't played on its success more so than it has played on its advertisement.
Well...
Because Harry Potter...
Pardon me.
...was making millions already before it even got anywhere near cinema.
Yeah, but my issue with the thing saga...
And I genuinely like the books.
Oh, yeah, I've nenever read any of the books. I was offended when they came out and became popular. Because I had bigger glasses and I have a scar on my forehead. So... That was bad news.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And,
I remember that now.
Yeah. I hated Harry Potter so much.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
But
you have a reason.
With Twilight, not a lot happens. Boy meets girl.
They frown.
They fall in love after frowning at each other.
That's important.
After they have a good, steady stare contest.
Yes.
And...
Without a wager, but they still got some.
Yeah. And not a lot seems to happen. Like, they break up, they get back together, they have vampire babies. One vampire baby.
They have a vampire baby?
Yeah, that's how it... Yeah, see?
Oh, okay. I was not unaware of the vampire babiness.
Yeah.
I didn't think 2 dead things could have a baby.
It gets really creepy, and I'll get to that eventually.
Okay. I'm on the edge of my seat right now.
Might as well get to it now, because there's...
Let's lay down the groundwork.
Okay, remember Jacob, right?
Yes.
Not vampire, the werewolf. He falls in love with the baby.
Ooh.
Yeah, that kind of love. Not just like, I will make sure that this thing is raised properly. It's just like, I must have that baby. Daddy. Yeah, and lots of people will say, oh, yeah, because she gets acceleratedly grown up because she's a vampire baby.
No, that doesn't work that way.
No, she's still 3.
Yes.
Doesn't matter if she looks like she's 14 or something like that. Even, well, let's say an adult, as opposed to 14. Doesn't matter if she looks like an adult. If she's still just been alive for 3 years, she's still a fucking baby, you know?
I think the author in this particular series has some issues.
I think you have to watch
Stephanie Meyer, yeah.
Yes, there might be a father issue or 2.
She's a Mormon.
Okay, so there's a good list of issues.
Yeah, there's a lot of problems.
I'll never special underwear work.
Yeah, the whole series is actually, well, until I think when
A
they
Mormon
get married.
writing vampires, really?
Yeah, it was her first book as well, which really shows if you've ever actually read anything. I've read online, cracked.com?
Yes.
Yes.
I am avid.
Good site, good
Yes.
site.
And they do a lot more research than half the media around.
Yeah, they do. They do really good research. But they in one article they posted a actual excerpt from the novel, and they used the word twinkled or twinkle, some variant of twinkle about like 8 times in a paragraph, which open a thesaurus or reword sentences. Don't
Google.
use. Yeah, Google with the magic of the internet.
Twinkle, sparkle, shine, shimmer.
Yeah, and another really
Glow.
an issue I have with Twilight, and I brought this up before, is that while the book is terrible, regardless, like if you want to look at it by the story, if you want to look at it by the actual writing, if you want to look at it by the message, any of that is generally pretty bad. Other than like the message of the whole thing, since she's Mormon, was don't have sex until you're married. Which is why the whole time Edward kept on saying stuff like, I can't make love to you because I will destroy you.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's a disgusting thing the more you talk about it. But
Touché.
yeah, and so, like, it let's say the message of that isn't necessarily bad, but
No.
it's not. But the other stuff, like,
It's an odd way to portray it.
the bright side of the whole thing is, and which makes me a little bit more conflicted, is at least it's getting kids to read. You know?
Well, then Harry Potter did that too.
Yeah, but, Harry Potter can only... I know there's kids just starting to read Harry Potter now, which is good, but at the same time, like, there were people getting into their tweenish ages, and then they didn't want to read Harry Potter, they didn't like it maybe, and they wanted something with a bit more teeth, if you get my terrible joke.
I'm going to need a drink of it.
And, so they start reading Twilight, and obviously not everyone will like it, because it is a terrible book.
Yeah, it also depends if you read a lot. If you read a lot, then you can look at it and you say, this makes me sick in my stomach.
Yeah, I used to read Goosebumps.
I loved Goosebumps.
Yeah, I don't read them anymore.
No, but that was fine. I wrote them in grade 5 and grade 6.
Exactly. They got you reading.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after Goosebumps, I started reading Stephen King.
I only read
I made a big jump.
Yeah, that was a big jump.
Yeah.
Well, from Goosebumps, I went to...
Animorphs?
No, I wrote them at the same time.
Good books.
They were good. I think after that, I didn't go Stephen King. I went Dean Koontz.
Dean Koontz, yeah, he's not bad. I just, some friends and I went on a camping trip a while ago, and we listened to one of the Frankenstein books on tape. Damn good. Yeah. Really good. Not a lot happened, but it was tense when it happened.
It did, and it's just how he dragged you along. His ability to write was what kept you in more so. It's like watching a movie that's fantastic acting. You can actually get into it. You get a little incy-bincy little suspension of disbelief.
Yeah, like there's a few movies that I wish I could name any one right now that where not a lot happens. Oh, good TV shows like Mad Men. Not a lot actually happens, but it's so tense and
That's the
dramatic.
same thing with Lost. You wait 6 hours for something to happen, and you gotta wait another 6 hours to do it.
Boardwalk Empire now. That's been picking up.
I need to see that again. That's
Boardwalk Empire or Lost?
No, I'm never gonna see it Lost. I watched again 6 hours for something to happen, and then I think later I found out that they're all dead already, or nobody knows, or
you just.
And when a jet engine is sitting there running without fuel to it, it can't burn on water. I'm sorry, people, it doesn't work that way.
Look, just start the series over again and watch it all.
I'd rather shoot myself.
No, I didn't mind Lost. There were problems. There were big problems, but I stuck through it. I enjoyed it overall. And see. Okay. Another thing. What do you think about actual vampires? Like the Anne Rice or the classic mythology? Just anything that's generally what
I'm
would
not
be
sure
considered.
40 minutes will encompass all that.
Well,
I'm an avid writer.
Do you like
yes,
vampires?
Vampires, witches, demons. I write
specifically vampires.
Oh yeah, I like vampires.
I don't particularly care for them generally because I see them like the Superman of monsters.
No, they're bad. The best way to portray them would have been 30 Days a Night, when they're just a sack of monsters going through a town.
Good comic, not the best movie.
No, but the premise is there.
I saw it with a friend who, when we were leaving, she's like, "Was it just me, or did they all seem like mentally handicapped?" I was like, "What are you talking about?" Well, they're all walking around with their mouths hanging open the entire time, so they're just walking.
That's fair. Well, you see how big their teeth are. That's kind of hard to close your mouth right there.
Fuck that. That's dumb. But anyway, you like vampires,
yes.
though. What would you say the main differences between the classic mainstream vampire and the Twilight vampire, besides just sparkling and then the poofing into dust and ash?
Well,
like go for the bigger one.
Well, the bigger one would be right now. You've got the romance vampire, which kind of started sort of
at the very least popularized, but then rise.
Yes, but they were still monsters then. Now we get a whole lot that are like, I'm trying to be good.
Yeah. See, that is an issue as well with the whole fiction genres because that used to be something special.
Yes.
And now it's not.
Like, I mean, the best romance vampire you have is Dracula, but he still killed anybody in his way.
Yeah, he had a purpose.
Yes.
And a goal.
When he was hungry, well, people went missing.
When the bear's hungry, he eats.
Yes. That doesn't mean he can't be a gentleman to something he wants to seduce and drain dry, but...
Yeah, that's part of the sport.
Exactly. When you're so many years old, how would you still care about being a good guy?
One thing also, if you look at the whole Dracula myth with him being like a crazy fucking warrior dude.
Yes.
And then all these years pass and you see him, he's still got the warrior blood in him, but he's like a gentleman. Think of the change that has to take place over that time.
Oh, true, but...
That's character progression that's suggested, which is a good thing in stories and stuff.
But back when Dracula was made, depending on who you ask, but the warrior was the man. Afterwards, now it's the politicians and the kings and the nobles, and it's just a different way of...
Just an adaptation.
Yeah. And it's probably, when you become superhuman strength and whatnot, going into a battlefield and killing them all is probably not really that big of a deal.
Has no fun, no sport,
exactly.
No challenge.
But whereas if you have to exercise your mind and manipulate, and then you make them kill each other, it's probably a whole lot more entertaining.
Yeah, challenging. A bit more challenging, yeah.
When you live for centuries, you gotta find something to keep it up and happening.
Yeah. Since you know a bit about vampires, I can actually ask this next thing more as a question, because, in Twilight, the powers seem to be dependent upon the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And is that a standard vampire thing? Because in Twilight, if a person seems to be... I feel so sad because I sound like I actually know what I'm talking about, and it's about something
I won't judge you for
so
it.
terrible. But in my readings, I discovered that people who had a small psychic gift or
a latent ability,
or a particularly good at a certain thing, it would just become enhanced when they were made into a vampire.
Well, I could see that to a point too, but it also depends. Really, most vampires that I've read, they all get more powerful with age. That's the extent of it. You can probably get the odd freak from time to time, just like us. You get some people who are better at charisma. You get some people who are just naturally strong.
Yeah.
And all of it becomes enhanced. If it's through a virus or a magic or the blood of the whatever else. But you become a superhuman undead thinger. And if you're already a good human, you gotta go up still, right?
Yeah.
So
in that respect, you kind of agree with Twilight. Is that what you're saying?
Well, to a point that it increases its the person's already natural ability. If someone is naturally cognitive, not cognitive, but empathetic or whatever else.
Suddenly they get magic powers, essentially.
Exactly.
Okay.
And if you look at Anne Rice's and almost anybody who turns into a vampire, they see everything way more detailed and focused than any of us can. That's the first thing anybody tries to describe in their novels is how much better everything sounds and looks.
Which, when you think about it, makes no logical sense.
No, your neurons and everything are still the same.
They're dead.
Yes.
The eye should be rotting, sort of. You know?
Nope, they're not dead. They're undead. They don't die. They stay in a stasis of where they were. And they will return to how they were, because that's just how it was. It's not a zombie.
Yeah. I like zombies better, though.
I know.
Can you understand my reasoning for why I think that vampires are the Superman of the horror genre?
Well, it depends. If you go to the Chinese or Japanese vampires, they're scary mothers.
Yeah, but the thing is that to me, the reason I don't like it was because they seem to have too many powers.
Yes.
Superman, way back when, basically, it used to be that no matter what happened, he would just happen to have like, oh, this
The
power
ability.
that I've never shown
What's
before.
that called?
I've
Deus Ex
always had
Machina
it.
or something
Deus
like
Ex
that.
Machina. Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah, it's the god from the machine, which is a very lazy thing.
Yeah, that is very, very lazy. That's fair. But no, I don't think they should be getting more powers.
No. Just enhance whatever's already there. Okay, fair enough. But
and they'd probably get stronger with age, because, you are able to harness it more, right? Depending if you go for...
Practice makes perfect, essentially, yeah.
And unless you go through, like, Blades, in Blade, it's a virus.
Yeah.
I think even in Supernatural, or not in Supernatural, Underworld, it's a virus.
It is?
I think so. The one... If they look under it in a microscope and one cell is attacking the other cell, or is that just when they're trying to blend the two? It's been a while.
Okay.
But otherwise, you can go to like Anne Rice's is more of a magic thing. It's the ability.
There's no actual reason for them to be able to do it other than magic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's more of a fantasy than a sci-fi kind of idea.
Yeah.
They don't try and reason it out. It just happens.
It's kind of. Vampires kind of belong more to fantasy than sci-fi, though. That's the thing.
Oh, by all means.
Yeah. I like zombies because they can go in either.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, they're not zombies. They're infected or zombies.
No. Infected are not zombies. Infected are infected.
Exactly. They're infected or zombies. Not and or.
No. Science fiction can do it by simply Frankenstein. Frankenstein's monster.
Mm-hmm.
Technically a zombie. An undead person brought back to life. Sort of. Depending on your definition, yes, it could be.
Because he still had a heartbeat, so he was technically just...
Reanimated flesh. Yeah.
Yes.
Still, I've seen some
a revenant.
I've seen some really bad zombie movies where science was deeply involved. Science gone mad, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Touche.
But yeah, it's I really don't like Twilight, and it makes me really depressed that it's that. Yes, it is getting kids to read, but it's such a stupid story.
It could be turning people off reading.
Yeah,
just how bad it is.
Yeah,
I think I went to Terry Goodkind, actually, in grade 7.
He's good. Discworld, right? No,
that's Terry Pratchett.
Yeah.
He's also good.
Terry Goodkind, Wheel of Time?
No, that's
another guy.
Terry Brooks. Robert Brooks?
Why am I apparently aware of every Terry who's written a book?
The Sword of Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah, his first book was Wizard's First Rule, which is a fantastic
That is a classic of fantasy that I've never read and probably never will.
Probably not. But he's written a couple good things. Only 2 books really shone. But they were, again, you didn't even have to be a fan of the genre, just how well they were written, how they dragged you along.
It's like those books were so good that he can basically make crap for the rest of his life, but he will always be known as the guy that made those 2.
Same, like, there's a couple directors out there, like the guy who made the Rush Hour, he did that, and then, I can't remember the other 3 because they're unnotable, but they're because horrible.
Rush Hour 2? Rush Hour 3?
No, I don't even think he did. I think he only did the first one.
They didn't want him back after that.
No. M. Night Shyamalan's another one.
Yeah.
He did 2. Because Unbreakable was awesome. I
love Unbreakable.
That is my favorite ending of any movie ever.
It is a little cheesy, like just that line as M. Jackson says, they called me Mr. Glass. Like,
that's the part I love about it.
It's so comic booky, which is the reason I liked it so much. Yeah. I'm a huge sucker for any superhero movie.
Yeah, no, me too.
Yeah, did you see Defendor?
No, I didn't.
Woody Harrelson is a mentally challenged guy who tries to become a sort of Batman figure.
Oh.
It's really good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Did you see Super with Rainn Wilson?
Nope.
Super. Rainn Wilson's character's married, and she turns back to drugs. She was an addict. Starts living with her dealer, and he gets a message from God, but it might just be him losing his mind. And he starts fighting crime with a big crescent wrench. And
that's a very large persuasive tool.
Yeah, and his battle cry is "Shut up, crime," and then in the head with a crescent wrench. It's awesome. It is brutal. Anyway, back to Twilight. This is one of the best questions I've ever read about any subject ever. When I was looking it up, because I found so little on Wikipedia of any actual content, because it's such an empty subject.
Necrophilia or bestiality? Which one do you like?
I was looking for what's the difference between Twilight vampires and real vampires. And then someone had a question on, about.com. Is Twilight about real vampires?
No.
Is it a true story, Josh? Is there a conspiracy?
Yes! And they all live in Oregon and
Washington.
Washington, where it rains all the time,
Britain.
so they don't sparkle.
Lots of Ireland.
Ireland
is nothing but vampires. Yeah.
Those redheads will take the life right out.
I always figured that if there was, in terms of like the sort of Western Europe, I'd figure Ireland and Scotland would be the place with all the vampires. So,
yeah, one of the oldest.
Well, it's not just that; it's because they're all pale.
Yeah, that's touche.
It's
well, the redheads are incredibly pale.
Yeah. I'm not a redhead except for my beard, but I'm incredibly pale, despite being mostly Italian. So, yeah, it doesn't make sense. My genetics are weird, but
a little bit happens to us all.
So anyway, this is how Twilight ends because, anyway, the way I've seen all the Twilight movies are through riff tracks. Do you know what that is?
No, sir.
Did you ever hear of Mystery Science Theater 3000?
I've heard of.
It was a TV show that was on for about 10 years, where it's 3 guys watching terrible movies and making fun of them.
Oh.
And riff tracks is 3 of the guys from that doing it for new movies. They have stuff for Daredevil, they have it for Avengers, they have it for...
Avengers was a good movie.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they can't make fun of it.
No, that's true, too. I thought when you said making horror...
Originally, it was just bad movies, and the reason they were doing that was simply a matter of cost. Like, you can buy copies of bad movies and, the rights to them, even if they're temporary rights.
Now you just podcast them and nobody cares.
Yeah, they just make the... They just make the sound, the audio track.
Yeah.
And then you can download that. You can download it dubbed onto the movie, or you can pirate it like I do. And, yeah.
As now we are broadcasting on public, whereas Corey Hales is a pirate. Say Ardka. That's right, I called you Ka right now.
Ka.
Ka.
Yeah.
Hey, Ka.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how I've seen the first 3 movies.
Okay.
First one, funny, through riff tracks. Second one, funny, through riff tracks. Third one was so bad. Even these guys could not make it entertaining at all. It was so fucking boring. Have you seen this?
No.
Okay.
I've only seen the first 2.
Holy shit. Nothing happens.
I win.
Nothing happens. And then a werewolf jumps over a tree. That's it.
That's Fonzie going after the shark, isn't it?
Yeah, the thing is, if that's all I can remember from a movie, that at some point a werewolf jumps over a tree, that is fucking bad. Don't you think?
Yeah, that's not saying much for itself now.
Yeah, oh god, it's so terrible. But, so, the way the series ends, so that you don't have to go see this second movie, the 5th movie.
The 3rd, the 4th, and the 5th, yeah.
Like I said, Jacob falls in love with a baby.
Yep, okay, touche.
And Edward and Bella live happily ever after.
The other white meat, yeah.
Yeah, fine with Jacob loving their baby. Just
everybody's happy, right?
Everyone's happy. Yeah, there's
if you wait long enough, the one that you loved before will sire something, and will eventually get to legal age through supernatural ability or otherwise.
I'm totally fine with happily ever after endings because that's the majority of things. But
that is the recipe for a good movie. Sadly,
well,
did you see the public movie
Cabin in the Woods?
Yes,
not a happily ever after movie.
I love that movie.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I love that movie.
Have you seen Tucker and Dale versus Evil?
That was a great movie. At the last comic convention, I got the original artist for the Walking Dead comic. Mm-hmm. He did a poster for Tucker and Dale, which I have now, I think signed too. It is gorgeous.
It's fantastic. That's a great movie. It's one of my favorites.
So good. Yeah, but the thing is I understand why it had a happily ever after, because that's just how most things end. But at the same time, I don't understand why it happens, because the whole vampire baby is supposed to be it sends ripples through the vampire politics in Twilight. They're like, this can't happen, this is in the prophecy and bullshit, and then I guess they punch each other enough that they come to an understanding. Edward and the head vampire, as happens in stuff.
Guys do that all the time. That's how best friends are made at a bar.
I'm assuming this based on the previous writing of the others. That it's something that's simple and retarded.
Or they talk it out.
Yeah,
they hug it. They hug it out. They just hug it out.
It's like they both
and they sparkle together.
They do that simultaneous punch thing that you see occasionally in boxing and stuff like that, which is an amazing.
They both knock each other out.
No, they do that, and then they're just like, "Hey, let's talk about this." They have a sit down.
And then they make out.
Yeah, they make out. Edward and the head vampire make out.
Yeah.
They never speak of it again.
No.
And part of the deal is that the vampire baby is allowed to survive.
And get screwed by a werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though she's
doggy style.
Is
one a necrophiliac, or is the other a beast? Because one's dead, technically. So
she was never really alive.
Exactly.
But she's
stillborn, technically.
Oh. So a
necrophilia
a magically aged stillborn fetus.
Yes. Get screwed by a wolf.
Regularly humped by a thing that is not quite a man, but not quite a beast.
I think it's going to be more beast than not, because technically we're mammals, both sides. So I'm going to go just with beast.
Yeah, that's a good argument. It's and that it was written by a Mormon, and that it's meant for kids. Well,
it's not exactly 50 Shades of Grey detailed. It's just...
That's actually a thing. 50 Shades of Grey was started as a fan fiction of Twilight.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
I didn't know that.
They changed the names and a few of the circumstances so that they could publish it and make money, but it was a Twilight fan fiction.
Huh.
Yeah.
Today's not a waste. I
That's
learned
creepy.
something today.
That is very creepy.
I think I need to read
Which,
the book.
like, that the note for that I have is weird equals abstinence versus hot sexy mess, which apparently 50 Shades of Grey is. A book series that is promoting don't have sex at all until you're married, and then a book that is known for being apparently the sexiest motherfucking thing in the world.
Yes.
For ladies.
As the Facebook posted, women may not watch porn, but they'll read the shit out of it.
Oh yeah, that fucking Harlequin romances way back.
Oh god, they've been there forever, dude.
Yeah. You go to and not so much
It's
anymore,
smut.
but you used to go to any grocery store. There'd be the book section and the Fabio on every cover.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. It is a little sad. I've dated a couple girls who read sexy
Why?
vampire stuff all the time. It was basically just a romance novel where blood was let.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. There are people out there with the vampire fetish.
Yeah,
You have to get used
yeah.
to that.
Yeah.
You will not have a zombie fetish. Well, you will, and they're usually more
No,
distant.
I've seen zombie porn.
I've seen it too.
It's not pleasant
No.
in any way.
No, I was not aroused.
No, I was more just like, why is this happening? This is
And why can't I
horrible.
look away? It's not as bad as Two Girls in a Cup, but
I'm not. I've never seen that, and I never will. I don't want it.
I lasted, I think, like 45 seconds.
Ugh.
Not even,
Minute.
like 25.
Yeah.
Oh, I was starting to gag. It was bad.
I think I heard someone reading a transcript of, like, someone had watched Two Girls, One Cup and wrote down everything that happened, and someone was reading it. I was just like, I don't want to see this ever. It sounds so bad.
The therapy it took to get rid of that.
Yeah. Is there, I feel like I'm missing something regarding the Twilight. Something that seems kind of big, but I can't quite put my finger on it.
We've had the kind of vampires.
Well, we might as well talk about the actors as well, how that launched the careers of one actor who kind of deserves it, Robert Pattinson.
Yeah. No, he was launched out of Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
No, that didn't...
He was Cedric.
No, he wasn't.
He was.
No, wait, yeah, he was Cedric. But,
I was about
like,
to say,
that didn't launch him.
No.
People liked him in
Introduced him.
that. Yeah, they're like, oh, who's that sexy wizard? Oh, he's dead.
Harry Potter does not like Robert.
No. But, the thing is like, he's not a bad actor. He's done some decent stuff. I don't look at me like that. But then, Kristen Stewart, that's it, yeah?
I've seen Adventureland, and she can't act in that either.
No, she doesn't have emotions. That's the
None.
problem.
And that's acting.
Yeah.
To fake emotion, acting.
I think it was in the first movie. There's a scene where she's going through... No, second movie. She and Edward have kind of broken up, and she's going through trauma, like emotional trauma and stuff. And it is the most irritating fucking things. Like, she just lies in bed and goes, "Yeah!" Like these dumb screams. Yeah, that's very accurate. If you ever see it, it's such
So
a...
you can scream like an anguished...
I've been able to do that
Kristen
since I was a child. I'm good at changing my voices, you know that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
But,
Carol Channing, I remember that.
I haven't done that in a long time. I'm not going to do it now. But
You want to.
Not really, no. I'm more of a fan. For
Alright, I'm going to wait for the
Halloween-
comments, and they're going to say, Carol Channing.
Oh, I don't
Carol
get comments. I get about 60 listeners.
Channing.
But 60 steady listeners. I get 60 plus. So
Yeah.
I have people constantly checking in,
Everyone
which is good.
checking in on this should ask Corey to do a Carol Channing bit.
You know how many emails I've gotten from people that listen to this? 0.
Yes, but have they ever
I
asked
don't
the
know.
audience?
Oh, yeah, I've done that before. I've said, like, well, I'll say it now, like, anyone that's listening to this, you know, you've heard me, especially in the Captain Kirk episode, you've heard me drunkenly get very upset about the fact that I only get 60 listeners. I drank a bunch of port with my friend Eric. We talked about Captain
port.
Kirk, and then there was a chunk of time where I was just bitching. But, yeah, like,
Drunkenly bitching.
yeah. If people like the show, I really think they should tell other people, because there's always that thing. If you hate something, you're more willing to tell people about it. If you like something, you tend to keep it to yourself. Not you specifically.
No,
just
I know.
people in general.
Eminem and Marilyn Manson did the same thing.
Say what?
Marilyn Manson and Eminem did the same thing. They went for the rage, and that's what got their popularity.
That's the same thing with Howard Stern.
Yes.
You know? But the thing is like, I am not like either of any of those people. Not Manson, like you said the first time.
So my tongue has a typo too. Leave it alone.
Yeah, I shouldn't talk.
I talk like I type.
Yeah. The thing is, you know, it's tough to get started. But this is getting a bit off topic.
Hey, tangent!
Yeah, way too personal of a tangent.
I'm being attacked!
Yeah, no, it's, yeah, the thing is, you kind of hope for people like Kristen Stewart, simply because for me, it's like an underdog thing. It's like, you're so bad at this, but people keep giving you jobs. You need to do something that makes it understandable to the people that give a shit about movies, like me, why you're getting all this work.
Well,
like, she's an attractive girl.
I think it'll probably do the same thing as Megan.
She's not like
Yeah.
hot, but she's not an ugly person. You know,
No.
she's attractive enough that she should be getting work for that alone, but she should
Yeah,
also
but
be bringing something
Megan
to the
Fox
table.
did the same thing.
She
was hot. Oh yeah, she was hot, but she couldn't act to save her life.
I hate her more.
And
than
then she
Kristen
did
Stewart,
Jennifer's
though.
body, and then she disappeared. Oh no, she did Jonah Hex too.
Ugh, Jonah Hex was terrible.
It could have went so much better.
It could have been.
I love the comics, but
Yeah, I didn't know you read comics. Don't look at me like that. Did I offend you?
yes, I feel like I'm crying in my face right now.
Dude, when have we ever talked again? Like 9 years, and when we were at high school, did either of us talk about comics?
This is a podcast called Geektionary.
That doesn't mean shit. I told you about the Avengers, like my friend Pete, who did the Avengers thing, who didn't know shit about the Avengers. He barely knew.
Just be a DC man. Like, I mean,
How long you been reading comics?
how old am I now? 27.
Yeah, I know this.
23 years.
Really? Wow, that's longer than me. Like, I've been collecting for about like 17 years.
Not collecting, reading.
Oh, okay.
I was one
How
of
long
those
have you been
lazy motherfuckers
collecting,
who
though?
would read them in the store because I had no money.
How long have you been collecting? Do you collect?
Oh yeah, I've got all of the Ultimate Spider-Mans.
All right.
I'm into the new Batman 52.
Mm-hmm.
I'm embarrassed to say this publicly, but I am collecting the Star Trek ongoing series. I loved the new movie. When it came out, I was so excited. I watched it like 5 times. You know why you loved that
new movie? Because it was fucking awesome.
Yes, yes. That year was good because I think Scott Pilgrim came out that year too, and that was another good movie.
Which I hated the first time I saw it.
Really?
I thought it was fucking
dirty furry bastard.
Furry. The beard. But no, when I saw it, I thought it was like so hipstery, like it was trying so hard. But then I rewatched it like with a bit more of an understanding of what it was I was getting into because I'd seen it before. It's like I'm wrong because everyone likes this. I rewatched it. It's fucking amazing.
That's what I. That's
Have you read the comic series?
I have them all over there.
So good, eh?
The manga series, Canadian manga. That's right.
That's right. I consider it a comic because it's front to back, not
I know.
back to front. Well, by Western standards.
Yeah. Well, it's just so we don't get confused because we're simple-minded.
No, that's not the reason, but whatever.
But yeah, no. And then I just read a bunch.
Yeah.
I collect some of the. Chew is another one.
So good.
It's very
really
very
like
good.
Chew.
My buddy, he likes Transmetropolitan, but I just can't get into it.
I've got the entire series. It's
Yeah.
good.
Well, then you and Kyle can talk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doable.
Yeah.
Good.
Doable loves that. He got me into
good
Chew,
stuff.
and it's great.
It's really good. Yeah.
Archangel Freaks was a good one too.
I've heard of that.
Angel Freaks.
Yeah, Angel Freaks.
Angel Freaks. That's a good one
like
too.
End of the World stuff.
Yes, it's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah. I like a good post-apocalyptic story.
Oh,
Did you ever see The Road?
Yes.
Yes, very good.
No, stop.
Very good. Did
That
you
was
read
way
The
better
Road?
than the Book of Eli.
Did you read the book?
No, I did not.
It's very short, but really good. Like better than the movie. I read
That's
it.
usually the case.
I read it in a sitting.
The only time when it's not the case is like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, or Twilight probably. I wonder what is better, the books or the movies of Twilight.
As someone who avidly reads, I'd have
Probably
to
the
say
book?
the movies because they
Oh.
end quicker.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, it's only 2 hours
Yeah,
every
it's-
day, whereas like Twilight could take days.
Oh, and if I'm not interested, you go through a paragraph and you're like, I gotta put this down because it's painful.
Yeah, it's Yeah, did you have you seen any kids that are influenced by Twilight? They become sort of like
I'm 27. No, I have not.
You've never been to a mall and see
Not on a
like
regular basis.
they're not goths really.
They don't really go to wholesale or Bass Pro.
Yeah, you watch Supernatural, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you remember it was a fairly newish episode, I think, where one of the vampire picks a girl up in a bar and he's acting like Twilight vampires, like acting all moody and sad and just.
I haven't seen the last two.
I think it was not this one just previous, but the one just before that.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
It's funny, like the lead vampire is like some big hairy biker-looking dude, but he picks attractive young men, makes them into vampires, sends them out to get girls and bring them back because the whole Twilight thing.
That works.
It is a fucking funny episode. It's
yeah,
so
but that's
good.
not only a Twilight thing. That started since Anne Rice. The attractive vampires.
No, but like the weird moody, like the Twilight has a very specific type of weird moody broody bullshit thing.
That means I could do this to you all day.
Yeah, this slightly closed eyes, smoldering. You're smoldering. That's it. Smoldering intensity.
Yes.
The Bruce
Le
Campbell.
Passion.
Yeah. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about Twilight? I think I'm about done. I was done with my notes a while ago.
I don't like it. If you want
Is
something
that all?
no.
Your great conclusion? Nope. Don't like it.
No, 9. If you want good vampires, go to Anne Rice again. Before she went Christian. It just went...
She got weird, didn't she? Was weird before, but yeah.
No, she was in her little own case of weird, and then she went beyond.
Yeah. I say if you're
we
going to
all
go for
watched.
good vampires and Anne Rice, I say Interview with the Vampire, the movie, and nothing else.
No.
Not Queen of the Damned. That was a piece of shit.
That was a horrible movie.
Yes, it was.
It was a good book, though.
Okay, fair
The
enough.
book, actually, my favorite vampire book of all time would probably be Vampire Lestat.
Yeah?
It would, it leads up to, and I think, I can't remember, but I think it's a little bit past Interview with a Vampire.
Okay.
But it is so well written.
All right.
And again, you can tell it's the author who's in love with this vampire. Right?
Yeah.
And I've been to New Orleans, and I've been to.
You've been where?
New Orleans.
Nolans?
I spent 6 weeks there.
You had to say
I got corrected.
You had to say it like them people down there in Nolans.
Nolans.
I sounded more like Foghorn Leghorn than
A
anything.
little bit. Yeah, I was about to say, you're in Kentucky.
I see. Boy.
I say.
Before this is done, have you seen the movie Monster Squad? Old 80s movie, kids fighting monsters? You probably have.
I probably have, but I can't remember.
Okay, this is just a quick reminder.
There's a lot of movies in this.
Some kids that love monsters, they have a little monster club called Monster Squad. Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, the Mummy, Wolfman, and the Creature from the Black Lagoon. All
the classics.
Yeah, the Universal monsters.
Yeah,
as they're called. They start trying to reenact. They put forth this prophecy that will make Dracula rule the world, essentially.
This is becoming vaguely familiar.
Yeah. It's very, very 80s. It has not aged well at all, but it's still, if you watch it, you'll be like,
it's a cult classic.
This is fantastic. But the thing
That's
is,
the same thing with Evil Dead, though.
Okay,
they're remaking that, by the way.
Yeah, have you seen the trailer?
Yes.
Fantastic. Anyways, let me get to the point.
Get to it.
This is in the movie. Dracula is portrayed as this, and I only want your response to what I'm about to say because you like vampires.
Aye.
So Dracula doesn't fly.
That's fine.
That's fine. He turns into a bat, I think, once. For most of his transportation, he drives around a hearse.
A little monsters, but I'll take it.
He uses dynamite as his primary weapon.
You can't argue the efficiency of dynamite when you want
against
to go
a
kaboom.
treehouse.
Did the treehouse? Did it survive?
No.
Okay.
And he gets taken down at one point by a piece of pizza because there's garlic in it.
The garlic thing never really got to me. I'm sorry. I can't really see a vampire caring much about garlic. It's they don't have that much cholesterol. I don't think the garlic would really burn that hard.
Garlic, I think, was more about a purity thing. That's why silver. Yeah.
Yeah, this is true.
Anyways.
Sulfur's bad. Sulfur is brimstone and whatnot. That's
it's still considered a pure metal. That's why it was good against vampires.
Sulfur?
Silver, yeah.
Silver, yes.
Silver, yeah, not sulfur.
Not sulfur, no, sir.
No.
Silver, yes. Silver, I will go with.
Anyways,
there's a lot of mythology behind it.
You need to rewatch Monster Squad.
Okay.
Just to be upset about Dracula's impotence in that movie.
So he needs a vampiric Viagra. Let the poor... He's
okay.
old.
I'm going to tell you one quote from it. It's the famous quote from that movie. Wolfman's got nards. Does that ring any bells?
A little bit.
Oh, God damn it. Anyways, with this disappointing
I'm
end...
blonde. Leave me alone.
Thank you, Josh. And this has been Geektionary.